Hello everybody. Today we will be continuing our journey of learning C++ for free. Watching and learning these videos for only 5 minutes a day will make you a master programmer. So last class we went over C++ basics, and my task for you was to be able to write those 3 important statements that you need to be able to write for every single program. So the first one is #include IOStream, which is a call to a library. So it imports a bunch of different things and functionalities for your code. If you don't understand this, you should probably rewatch the previous video for some review. Next is using namespace standard, and as we remember, this is for just convenience. And then we have int main, and this is where we write our code. So before we get on to the new topics for today, I want to mention this is going to be a 2-part episode since there's a lot of material to cover. Alright, let's get on to the video. Today, we will be talking about variables and data types. A variable is something that is stored in memory and can be changed at any point. There are many different types of variables, which are known as data types. There are 4 major ones that we're going to be talking about today. The first one is integer. The next one is a double. Next is a string. And then finally, we will be talking about booleans. The first data type we are going to go over today are integers. Integers can be any counting numbers, negative numbers, such as, for example, 10, 5, -3, 100, -1000, and so on. So in order to define an integer in C++, we write int, which is telling C++, okay, we need to make some new space for a new integer, and it basically gets it ready for that. Then we have the variable name. Variable name can be anything, but make sure you don't use the same variable name twice, and that'll cause a big problem. Int a, then equals to. This is basically assigning a value to a, and we can write, let's say, 9 semicolon to tell the statement's ending. So now, somewhere in memory, the variable a will be given the value 9. Now let's talk more about this. So int a, when you write just int a and you don't write equals 9, this is known as declaration. Next, we have a is equal to 9, for example. That is known as initialization. Initialization is giving a variable its first value. And then finally, we have assignment. Assignment is when you give a variable a value, just in general. So if you, for example, once you set a variable's value, if you want to change it in the future, then you have to assign it a new value. Initialization is an example of assignment. Initialization is the first time you assign a variable a value. And then we have int a is equal to 9. In this case, we declared and initialized the variable in one statement. So there's a way to just join these into one. So, for example, this is the declaration portion, and then this is the initialization portion. You see that? So it's basically the same thing. Int a, and then a is 9 matches that. Let's say we're in JDoodle. We can do a is equal to 10, and then a will be set to 10. So yeah, that is integers, our first data type. So let's say you wanted to store a value that is not an integer. Let's say you wanted to store a decimal. Then we use this data type known as a double. What a double can store is something like 3.9, 4.67, -5.875, any value you want, pretty much, you can store inside a double. So in order to define a double, what we write is double, which is, again, telling C++ we're creating a new double, allocate some memory for it. And then we do double, and then we write the name, which can be, let's say, x this time, because we can't have the same variable name, remember, is equal to, which is assigning it a value, and then equal to, let's say, negative 7.68. So doubles are very useful. For example, if you're trying to find an area of a circle, you would use a double because you have to multiply by pi, which is double. And similar to integers, this is known as declaration, and this is known as initialization. See you in the next one. Peace.